But KJ, we were having this conversation about how we kind of got into this industry. For me,
Yes.
I spent 3 years working for a handicapping service where I worked with these guys who bet on sports for a living. That is how they make their money. I was not one of those people. I was involved in the shows and doing the hosting and talking about these games, but like this wasn't my bread and butter, and it still isn't. I think that is an important thing to consider when we see gambling really taking off. And there's a
Yes.
ton of people giving out picks, but you've got to remember that number one, everybody loses. Hitting at a 56% clip means you're doing really well. And also that we're not professional handicappers.
Right.
So, like, don't put the house on it.
Yeah. Because it's like you said, it's moving at breakneck speed. It's become very part of sports just as much as uh, just being a regular fan of a team. My approach, at least on my show on WEEI, is I'm always going to try and find value for you more so than what I believe is going to be solid gold. Right. I take myself seriously, but I don't take myself so seriously that like I would never be a guy that posted my records. Though I will tell you this one feature that I have. It's called the Squid Games, where I would take 3 games and I would say, here's what would happen if you laid down $1,000 on each game. So 3 games each week, so 48 games over the football season, and one parlay hit for 1.8 million. So my belief is, if you were one of those people that put up 48,000 and won 1.8, and you only lost 48,000 off of my bets, then I've done my job. But it's an entertainment aspect of it as well that says, still try and have fun. Some people take it serious. I'm just not one of those type of people who are just going to, you know, try and beat you over the head with what I know versus what you're trying to do, enjoy for yourself.
Right. And also, where I think our job is doing the homework for people who do not have time to sit down and look at all these numbers. And you want to look at these games with an informed approach. So maybe you don't take our plays, but you can take some of the information that we're giving you and
Yeah,
maybe do your own play, do your own research a little bit. But I understand most people are working full time jobs and you just don't have time for this.
it's
So that's
wagertainment. Yeah.
right. So we're trying to have a good time at the same time as well. Coming up next, BetQL Daily. The Joes and Aaron discuss today's slate and baseball and all the NBA action coming up this weekend and what plays they like, because I'm sure they've done the homework and maybe they have a different spin on some of the same games that we're talking about. If you missed the conversation with Ariel Epstein, the prop queen, about our best MLB props tonight on the slate, then download and subscribe the Daily Tip wherever you get your podcast. So now let's look at the slate and see where we have the most faith in today.
Today's best bets.
All right, Kate, since you are the fill-in host, I'm going to let you bat leadoff because I think that you can bat for average. I think you can get on base. I think you have a good eye. So what's your best play on
I'm going
today's slate?
I'm going with the home run team, the Blue Jays, Yankees. Take the Blue Jays money line. I think there's value in the Blue Jays now, and as the season goes on, they're my pick to actually go to the World Series in the AL. I don't think I have. I think I have them losing to the Dodgers, but I think you're going to start to see this Blue Jays team where, like against the Yankees, where there's not really any value there. But after what happened last night, plus Saravino in his last outing against the Red Sox really struggled. He's still trying to come back from arm surgery, get himself back into starter mode. And the last thing you want to do is throw a few BP fastballs to Vlad Guerrero Jr. again. So I see beautiful value in the Blue Jays on their money line.
Yeah, I like that. I'll be on that as well. It is not my best bet, but it's certainly on the card for me just because the Blue Jays, that lineup is absolutely potent. And we see how hot Vladdy Jr. is coming off a 3 home run night in the Bronx against Garrett Cole. And looking at the pitching matchup, Kevin Gausman, really good season with the Giants last year. Kind of a surprise for a few people. He was a guy that was, I think, non-tendered or non-somethinged by the Cincinnati Reds, went to San Francisco and had an excellent season. So I have a little faith in him. And also that lineup that's been extremely potent, especially in the first 5 innings. This is a team that jumps on teams early and doesn't look back. But for me, my best play is going to be an underdog play. I'm going to look at the St. Louis Cardinals at plus money today against the Brewers. Let's see what that price is. I think it's plus
120,
120, plus
25,
125.
125,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, it's plus
125.
115 at
Okay.
BetMGM. Let's do that. We've seen money coming in on the Cardinals, apparently because this was 125 last night. And here's why. The Cardinals have been especially good against the Brewers dating back to last season. If you look at their numbers, they are 6-1 in their last 7 games against Milwaukee. I'm aware that that was last season, but we saw it in a lot of these games where they were underdogs against some of the best pitchers on the staff of the Brewers, they would come up with wins. And for me, it's more about the offenses than anything. This Cardinals lineup has been extremely hot. They have 4 batters in their lineup right now, hitting over 300. And then looking at the scores of their games, they have scored 6 runs or more in 3 of their 4 games. And then looking at the Brewers, this was the problem from last year. The Brewers have a pedestrian offense, and it's been the case this year. They've scored no more than 5 runs in any of their games, and they've been shut out twice, including to the Orioles. And as favorites this year, they're just 3-3. So maybe the Brewers are a bit overpriced in this one. I'm aware Brandon Woodruff is a good pitcher, but I think Adam Wainwright can have another decent start, and I will carry or continue to ride these Cardinals hot bats for my best bet. So now we go to the 8 ball. And
Oh,
we ask,
no. Oh, that 8 ball. I was like,
KJ,
we had
were
a pool
you
table here? I was saying it's a fan. You see, I changed that family real quick. And I'm like, what kind of show am I on?
No, every day on the show, we do our best bets and we ask
Yes.
the real expert, the magic 8 ball. You've heard of a magic 8 ball, right?
Are you
Where it
keeping
gives you like
Spencer gifts
answers.
like in business? In
All
the
right, so
mall,
let's
in
get to
mall
it.
gifts?
All right, magic 8 ball. Do we like KJ's best bet? The Blue Jays over the Yankees today. What's the answer? The answer is
He's a
most
genius.
likely.
He's a genius. Most likely. See,
Most
there you go.
likely.
Yeah. You know, when you hit 3 home runs the night before, you're like a kid at Christmas, like, I cannot wait to get back to the ballpark. And, again, like I said, Severino suffered in his last start. I think the Blue Jays, I'm surprised that they were actually plus money when I saw the line. I was like, really? After what happened last night?
Well, we always talk about the Yankees kind of being overvalued.
Yes.
And I think it's because also they're at home. So maybe they do deserve to be favored, but it's hard to look away from the Blue Jays at plus money. So let's go to my best bet and ask the magic 8 ball. Cardinals plus 115 on the money line against the Brewers. Do we
There's
like
some
it?
extra.
Eight
You got you
ball.
got a lot of extra shakes going on there, Chelsea. You sure?
The 8 ball says very doubtful.
Yeah, you shook it too much.
Do you have
You
a
overthought the
strategy that
eight
I
ball.
should use in the magic
Absolutely.
8 ball?
Yes, you shake it 3 or 4 times, and it's always going to be positive.
Are you the person that goes to the casino and has like strategies when playing craps? Like you got to like shake them 3 times and blow on the dice and then do it?
Well, kind of like, don't ever, at the 8th roll is most likely going to be the death one. So if you get hot on 7, 8's going to hit you, and it's probably going to be bad. So in terms of probabilities, yes, I'm a sucker for probabilities.
I watched an entire YouTube video on somebody called the Bone Thrower, which is this guy who claims to have all the answers when it comes to playing craps and throwing the dice in such a
Yeah.
manner in which not to roll a 7. It was an
That's an
interesting
incredible
rabbit hole.
shotgun technique. You got to come out with the pointed gun. When you roll, your finger has to be in a perfect 90-degree angle with your gun, right? Roll.
Well, if you want to see the Magic 8 ball and all of its sorcery, you can. We're on Twitch, twitch.tv/BetQL, if you want to watch all of the magic that's happening with the Magic 8 ball. Well, tonight, BetQL has a couple of 5-star best bets in Major League Baseball for inside analysis, historical trends, and more. 5-star best bets. Download the BetQL app today. In baseball, they've got the White Sox on the money line plus 100. And then, they've got a hockey play. I am mistaken. They have an under in Calgary and Vegas Golden Knights, which I'm not a hockey person. I think we've established that on this show.
I am a
Not
little
too
bit.
sure. Not too sure about the White Sox, though. That's not a game that I am playing. But do you have strong feelings on either of these?
With the hockey game, give it to me as Golden Knights and Nashville, did you say?
Calgary.
Calgary. What is the under on that? Let's see.
Sounds like you have a real strong take on this.
Well, no, because I know a little bit in terms of who's still fighting for what. So Nashville is still kind of in the fight in the West.
Nashville's not in this game.
Oh, I'm sorry, Vegas. Okay, why do I keep saying Vegas? You know what? You know I'm getting mixed because they're both newer teams. So Vegas, Calgary, yeah, I have no play on that. That's a little further in the weeds in terms of like Western Conference play. I did watch an Edmonton game earlier this season. That was in Edmonton. If that helps you at all, it was a
Wow,
great
one
game.
game
Yeah,
to watch. Let's
it
call
was
you the
Edmonton,
expert of the
Tampa.
show
Yeah, it
now.
was a good game.
I need to look at some of these strikeout props because they probably just posted the numbers because there are some games where I think I would like some strikeout props as well, but I haven't had a chance to look at them. KJ, do you have any other plays you like today?
No, because everything's really kind of baseball. So, and again, I'm one of those that kind of waits to see things develop. I'm with you. If you wait for the K props, then I'd probably look at that Nats game, the Nats Pirates game. I like the Nats in that one, and maybe some props out of that one. But other than that, man, it's just I'm one of those that kind of slow walks baseball over, just being totally honest. But when I do see action happen, I think if you can see that you can get a good value against someone like the Yankees, or if you're looking at total against the Red Sox, I would always kind of go over the way their pitching staff is. So I'm still kind of looking, like, fleshing out some of the stories. But I would say Toronto's a story that's money that you can start betting and trailing. The Cardinals, as you mentioned earlier, also I would. I think there's a few stories. So Red Sox are playing it tomorrow. I have a Red Sox line for you tomorrow.